This bad boy is in a whole different stratosphere. I think this is where you max out as far as like a handheld scanner before you get into a full-blown like subscription-based snap-on scanner, which if you guys don't know, some of those scanners that people are using at shops, they could be anywhere from like $5,000. And a lot of times in order for them to access certain things for certain cars, they have to pay subscription. So I started off with this bad boy, 30 bucks. It does its job as far as reading codes, seeing passcodes, and deleting them. So then I graduated to the blue driver, which if you saw the video, it's the one that you download the app. Literally your phone is the interface. You plug this in there. It has a cool interface. It was doing a lot more than this one could do. You could read codes, you could look at things, and you could do some live data, and then you could literally download it. And it gave you information about recalls where they pulled it in from the internet. This was pretty cool, but this is like the ultimate one. This is like that battleship in Star Wars. I don't know what it's called, but this is the bad boy. Like these are little X-Wings, and this is like the mothership. If you buy a handheld scanner and you're trying to do more intricate things, they're not gonna have a lot more information than this, because there's only certain information you can get from certain cars in 2025. And what I mean by that is everything is electronic and everything is literally locked or closed off, or it's that fancy word, I don't know, proprietary information, so you can't even access it. So this does everything you can do that you're allowed to do. So let's go ahead and show you what it does. First off, look at this connector. I like it. All right, let's connect it to the AMG. And it's already linked. It's super fast. Now, they do offer you an extra feature where they're gonna give you some repair solutions and give you some more information. Now, let's show you what the Repair Solution 2 is actually about. Now, first off, you have to download an app. The app has great reviews, something like 5 stars. But anyways, once you get the app, you pair it to the device, and the really cool thing about it, you get something that most scanners are now doing. As a matter of fact, the really super expensive scanners, like the $5,000 ones and all that, they are really putting an emphasis on this type of information, and that's predictive maintenance and like options of what you could do and what certain fixes have actually been popular with certain DTCs. So to give you an idea, this app gives you maintenance items, predicted repairs, TSBs and recalls, warranty, cost to own, vehicle history report, enhanced VIN decode. All of this works together where if you get a DTC, you could use the Repair Solutions 2 to look up what are some common fixes or see if there's been some historical fixes. So what they do is they get information from people who's actually fixed things, from Master Tech, AC certified technicians who've inputted what their solution was, and then they give you like a percentage or an idea of what is gonna fix the problem, which is cool. It's like predictive maintenance and all this fancy stuff. I actually love this part. It saved the vehicles that I've already connected. So we checked out the Genesis yesterday so I could learn how to use it. And today we're gonna go ahead and hit the AMG. So enter, and this is the enter button down here. So yep, V8 4.0, yes. And then boom, it's already telling us that we're good to go. But if you look right here, the fuel monitor is blinking, and this is a really cool setup right here. So you pretty much have a Christmas tree here where you have red, yellow, and green. And then if all of your monitors are running and they're green, it would show green, yellow if something is not running, like the fuel monitor, and then red if something's wrong. So check out this OBD2 menu. It's really easy to read. I love the screen, but I want to show you again how we could read the DTCs. So we're going to rescan it. It already did it, but I'm going to show you again how it works. And in my opinion, it's very quick. So again, it asks us if we want this. We're going to skip it. And boom. So as far as this monitor goes, we can even go into it and show you a little further what's going on. If we come up here, we're going to do the readiness status, and that's going to tell us what monitors are complete or incomplete. So first off, our misfire monitor is complete. And if you look here, the one that was yellow was the fuel system monitor, and that's because we're not driving and it hasn't done that monitor yet, so that's normal. And then we come down here and it's going to tell us all the monitors that are complete, which is really cool. Again, this is not just a regular scanner. This does a ton of things. You could mess with body modules, you could reset service maintenance reminders, you could do so much. I'm going to show you here. Check this out, guys. Service check. We have rear brake pad check, okay. Front brake pad check, okay. We have an odometer, transmission fluid temperature. We have our engine oil level. And that gives us a little bit of information that the computers in the cars can pick up and give back to us. We also have things like a battery test. Check this out, guys. You can check your battery. The vehicle is not moving, the transmission is in park, and ensure that the parking brake is on. All of those are a check. We're going to go ahead and turn on the headlights. Headlights are on. We're going to continue. All right, turn off headlights. Then we're going to continue. Start the engine. And as you can see, battery status pass. We could also go to battery life data. Tells us our alternator type, terminals, tells us a lot of information. We could talk to the ECM. We could actually talk to the transmission, and this tells us that this is for the dual clutch transmission, which is pretty cool. And it tells us that we have no faults or errors with our dual clutch transmission. And we could also look at the ECU information, which tells us the hardware, tells us the software, tells us everything, which is important. Actually, let's go to service reset. And this is where you can reset like oil maintenance reminders. You know, you could go in here and do all that stuff. Battery reset. Battery initialization, which is really important for like Porsches and Audis and other cars that require that. This is not one of those vehicles. And then you could do other things like TPMS relearn, throttle body relearn. And then of course this doesn't apply, but for trucks you have the DPF reset, which is pretty cool. And this is a really cool part about this scanner, is that you could actually go into certain modules, into certain ECUs for the body, for the chassis. Now, depending on the car, some of these are not going to be available, and so you're not going to be able to do these things. So a couple of services you could do depending on the model is you could do some coolant bleeding, AC system relearn. You could do things like immobilizer reset, key coding procedure, tire size reset, transmission fluid level check, transmission fluid change reset. But again, it depends on the vehicle if it's supported or not. But the fact that a lot of these are offered is pretty awesome. Now, what do you get? You get the scanner itself. Of course, you get the integrated plug. It does come apart, so you could take it off and then you could, store it somewhere else. You get a bag, you get another cable in case you need it. And then the instructions. What I like about the instructions is that you could actually read them and understand them, and they're not like some random weird grammar nightmare. This is actually pretty good. And then of course the box that it came with. But you put everything inside your little cool bag, and now you pretty much have your own little scanner, which is awesome. Now, it's a really good feeling to have when you know you have to like stop searching. And what I mean by that is knowing that this is it. This is where the buck stops. Makes me feel good. So I don't have to keep buying scanners and looking for them. This is the one that you need to look at your car, to do stuff, and you're able to access things that you're allowed to, and that gives you options. It lets you know what you can and can't do with your car, and it's super cool. So if you're a car nut like myself, this is it. This is where the buck stops. This is super dope. Like, I love it, and like I said, I highly recommend it if you're doing anything with cars. You have to have a pro scanner like this.